Now, France is entering unfamiliar political waters following the first round of their presidential election. Voters rejected traditional parties in favour of two outsiders.
Only a few months ago, Emmanuel Macron left government to set up his own political movement. His opponent, Marine Le Pen, is the leader of the far-right National Front. We can speak now to the BBC's Karin Giannone, who's in Paris for us this morning. A morning to you. So much to discuss.
Yes, Dan, good morning to you from Paris. And France is waking up to somewhat of a political earthquake, albeit one that had been kind of predicted. But the fact that the two main political parties in France that have dominated the scene for more than 50 years have been wiped off the map in this first round of the presidential election. Now, I have two guests with me to discuss this some more. I've got Anne-Elisabeth Moutet, who's a commentator and columnist for the Daily Telegraph. And I've got a spokesman from Marine Le Pen's party, the Front National, Jérôme Rivière. Very warm welcome to both of you.
Morning.
Broadly speaking, first of all, Anne-Elisabeth, how much of a shock to the landscape is this?
It's less of a shock than you think, because for the first time in several years now, the pollsters had got it absolutely right. And because the likelihood is that Emmanuel Macron is going to be elected, it's going to be more or less a continuation of the previous government, where, after all, he was for a part a minister. So fewer surprises. Marine Le Pen is doing extremely well. The Socialist Party is dead. Which in itself is an interesting thing. There is a very resilient force in France for a very sort of Corbynized left wing. The biggest surprise is probably that there isn't a surprise.
Jérôme Rivière, you heard Anne-Elisabeth saying there, it's going to be Macron. He's going to be the one that probably wins this. You disagree?
Of course I disagree. This is why we have campaigns. I think that last night's results are tremendous results, despite the fact that all media outlets in France are owned by people who are backing up Macron. Marine Le Pen was able to finish in an extremely good position, and within the 2 weeks that are coming, we're going to do a campaign to explain to the French citizens the choice that they have, and the choice is quite clear.
Very quickly, I mean, has the party detoxified its image enough? Even last night we heard accusations once again of racism, violence and intolerance.
All they can do is play on fears. This is all that they have been doing. I'm a former MP from Les Républicains, so I know this is their failures that they are trying to hide by using fear factor and trying to express things like racism, which is not true. Marine Le Pen is in favor of a patriotic France gathered together in order to offer a very positive future to the French citizen, whereas Macron does not believe in France. He doesn't even believe in the French culture. So the choice is quite clear, and this is the choice that the French citizen will make within 2 weeks.
Anne-Elisabeth, widening this out a little, I mean, why is this so important if you're looking at this from outside of France? And certainly in the UK, people are wondering what the difference between these two candidates, their hugely different visions of France, would actually mean for the European Union, for example, for the way Brexit goes.
Well, Macron was pretty courageous in that he campaigned on a completely pro-Europe platform, and there were no misgivings, no but, etc. And that in itself was brave, because we felt that there was this sort of unbroken narrative of people who wanted to break up Europe. And he has managed to sort of do well in this, and with a party that he created only a year ago, waving blue and gold flags. So that in itself is a change. For Brexit, it's a bit different, because this is basically somebody who agrees with the French technostructure, with the financial institutions, with the government, and so the notion of punishing Britain and having a hard Brexit and not allowing Britain to get away with not playing by the rules and still getting exactly almost the same thing as when she was a member of the EU, that probably is going to be Macron's line as well.
Anne-Elisabeth Moutet, thank you very much. Jérôme Rivière from the National Front, thank you to you both. So we have 13 days till it all happens all over again, when those two candidates will be reduced to one on the 7th of May. Back to you, Charlie and Louise. Sorry, Dan and Louise.
That's right. Charlie will be here on Thursday. Don't worry, Karen. Thank you very much. I could have had the day off.